Hi, Stephen from Owner Disown, and I've got another unboxing for you today. So I'm going to have quite a few laptops to review. This time it's the widely anticipated Dell XPS 13, the new one. And I ordered the new fancy rose gold one. So let's open the box and see what's inside. Okay. So they have, with it being the rose gold white one, they have matching accessories. So we do have a dongle here that is white. That'll be for connecting to the USB-C port or Thunderbolt port, whatever, and then connecting. Then the other end is a USB 3 Type A port. It's a shame I hate dongles, but it seems to be the way to go. The price you pay for thinness, I think. And then we have, of course, a white cable for the power brick. So opening up the dongles and the packages, there's the dongle there, the USB-C A to USB-C, and the power adapter here. It says it is a 45 watt power adapter, and of course let's check the cable length. That's not bad at all, that's quite long. Yeah, that's nice. Nice having a long power cable. I wish there was a USB port in here to charge whatever, but there isn't. But it all looks pretty nice. So it starts off at $999, or about $1,000, and for that you get only a miserly 128 gigabyte SSD, which, to be fair, you can't do much with that at all. You get 4 gigabytes of low power DDR3 1866 RAM. 1080p display. I've actually stepped it up to the pretty much middle of the range. It's for about $1,200. I get 8 gigabytes of RAM, 256 gigabyte SSD, and I get the same CPU as the base model, the i5-8250U, which is a 15 watt part. It can be boosted up to 25 watts. It's still 4 cores, 8 threads. Of course, you can splash out some serious cash to about just over $2,000 and get like the i7-855U CPU, which that increases the clock rate from 1.6 base, which I get in mine, to a 1.8, and then of course that boosts all the way up to 4, but mine boosts up to 3.6 supposedly. So, but we'll do some good testing on it. And of course, to pay for the white version, it's an extra $50, which is a bit steep, isn't it? But anyway, it's you got to pay a little bit extra for that. Now there is 2 colours you can get. You can either get the rose gold like mine, or you can get the silver with a carbon fibre palm rest. Now this has white woven glass palm rest. Now it is light. They say it weighs about 2.7 pounds or about 1.21 kilos. And I can see that it is pretty diminutive. And I do like the style of it. So there's the lid. The chassis is CNC machined aluminium. Just like the silver one is the same. There you have it. So the coating it has a coating applied to this. It has first of all, it's got titanium dioxide to make it like glow, and then it's got a stain resistant coating, so you can actually draw on it. You know, if you run out of paper, you can write notes on this and wipe it off. But anyway, that's useful because a lot of these other, like the Alienware laptops, fingerprint smudges everywhere, very hard to clean. This will just wipe off with a cloth, and that'd be very nice. The trackpad, it's glass, nice and smooth, and a nice, solid click there. Now the keyboard, that's okay. There's a reasonable distance to travel considering how thin this thing is, and I do quite like the styling. Now you do have an optional fingerprint reader on the power button, and I don't remember if I did that, but that is an option, and you can configure it all the way up to, say, having even a terabyte SSD in there. Now whether you can upgrade it yourself, you more than likely can. There's 4, 5, 6, there's like 8 screws to get in there. The Torx screws, so look like a Torx 6 screw here. You can know to get in and just do the upgrade yourself, so that might be worthwhile doing and save a bit of cash. You have nice large heat vents here, And inside there you've got some coating of aerogel, which helps force. It's a good insulator, very good insulator, and it helps, you know, force the hot air out rather than radiating through the chassis. So it should be nice and cool indeed. The webcam, as you'll notice, is right down at the bottom because it's got an infinity edge display, so not much of a bezel. Now, if you don't like having your nose hair showing, that's probably not probably not the laptop for you. But that is where it is. And as I say, it's very nice bezel. Now you can have like either a 1080p display, which I have here, or go for a 4K option. Now, let's have a look at, in terms of, I mean, I know these laptops I've got here aren't in the same league, you know, but just to have an idea of size, I've got my Aorus X3 V7. Now, this is a 13.9 inch, and I must admit, it's huge compared to, look at that. It's huge. And even the thickness, much thicker. This is pretty thin now, you know. They've said they've reduced the thinness, so it's pretty good. And of course, I've got an Alienware 13 here, which, as you know, is pretty big in itself with the big heat sinks. But even taking the heat sinks out of the equation, there's a huge difference there. But of course, this only has the HD 620 graphics card in it, not the most powerful. And of course, it's not really designed for gaming. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to test it against the recently unboxed HP NV360. Now, it's got the AMD Ryzen 5 2500U in it. And I'm going to compare them both. And I bet that much cheaper half-priced HP will beat this in the gaming. And it'll be interesting to see how the CPU compares too. But at the end of the day, this is only, you know, £2 or so, and it's very light, isn't it? It's great, very nice and thin. Now, looking at the ports, they have skimped a bit on the ports here. The previous model had a full-size SD card reader, and it had one Thunderbolt 3 port and two USB Type A ports. Left-hand side, we've got the Noble Lock, two Thunderbolt 3 ports, and one of them with PowerShare. And there's a button here that must test the how much battery's left there with those little indicator lights. That's what I suspect that is. And we have a speaker here. Now it's got two speakers, 1 watt each, so I don't expect them to be all that loud. So in the front, really, the second speaker here. Now, we don't have a full-size SD card, we've got to use micro SD, which is a shame for perhaps those photographers out there with bigger cameras. And then you've got a USB-C port here, which also is useful for DisplayPort, it says there. DisplayPort capable. And the headphone jack here, which I suppose must also be a combo for a microphone. But there we are, it's a nice looking laptop. Now, they are claiming around about 19 hours of battery life on this, which, considering they've reduced it down to a 52 watt hour battery from 60 watt hour in the previous generation, it'll be interesting to see how they've done that. But anyway, just let me know what you want me to test. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.